Here's the story of how I found out that I was pregnant. Story time. So I was 19 when I became pregnant, and it was actually Valentine's Day of 2020. So I became pregnant just before my 20th birthday. And this part of the story, I've honestly shared this with very few people, but here we are. I knew in the very moment that it happened that I was pregnant. I literally thought to myself, oh, I'm pretty sure I just got pregnant. Like, I knew exactly when it happened. I knew. So yes, I did know when I got pregnant, but I was scared. Okay, I was so scared. I was barely 20 years old. I knew 100% that if I had a baby, I would be a single mom. So I was god scared. So like I said, I did know, or at least I had very, very high suspicions that I was pregnant. So I basically came up with an excuse for everything. I did spot a little bit in the very beginning, so I had a period. I just was gaining weight. I was just a little crabby. Like, I had an excuse for everything.
That's so weird to me. She knew the exact moment. How? Like, I don't know. Is anyone else like watching like experience a similar thing? Have you, I don't know, have you had a baby and did you know the exact moment that you ended up pregnant? Because that doesn't make sense to me. I did not think she was going to say the most horrible. I thought she was going to say something like the most gorgeous, or I didn't expect that.
Before I even continue the story, you don't have to tell me that this concealer is light on me. I'm aware. So anyways, like I said, I became pregnant in February. Fast forward, we're now in July of 2020, and I'm starting to show. And I'm thinking to myself, yes, you have an excuse for everything, but I know that you know deep down you are pregnant. You simply cannot deny this any longer. You need to do something. So on the 4th of July on 2020, I went into Planned Parenthood by myself and I told them I need to take a pregnancy test. And lo and behold, baby, I was 22 weeks pregnant. For those who don't know, that's over 5 months. This part of my story I feel like is a little bit unique compared to other people, because the same day that I found out that I was pregnant was the same day that I found out the gender of my baby. So I found out that day as well that I was going to have a son. And like I said, as much as I was in denial, in the back of my head, I did know, or at least very, very highly suspect that I may be pregnant. So in the back of my head, I already kind of picked names out. So that day, I also named my son Paxton. So they told me that I was pregnant and I was 22 weeks along, and I cried. I cried so much. I bawled my eyes out. Real life. I just cried and cried and cried. Because like I said, I was scared. I was 20, barely 20 years old, with the knowledge that if I move forward with this pregnancy, I was gonna do it by myself. I was completely on my own. Obviously, I moved forward with the pregnancy and decided to have my son, and here we are now. It's actually hard for me to conceptualize and like wrap my head around me ever making a different decision. Like, I can actually like never imagine my life if I decided to not have Paxton. So fast forward 3.5 years later, we are here now in a different city, different state, living our best lives. Love y'all. Horrible human being possible. Mentally, physically, emotionally, financially abusive, and ultimately almost ends me. We're together for like almost 3 years, and it's just horrible. He was an awful boyfriend, treated me like garbage, and I'm gonna be really transparent with you guys right now, because, well, I don't really care. I cheated on him. I did try to break up with him before I did this, but ultimately I knew that that was the only thing that was going to get me out of the situation that I was in. So I cheated on him with my coworker. And then that led to a downward spiral of pain for the next like 2 years of my life. Me and dude number 2 are kind of like together, not dating, but together for like, I don't know, 6 months. And ultimately he ended up getting back together with his ex. And to tell you the truth, me and guy number 2 actually ended up going literally back and forth for like 3 years, but not the point of the story. So anyways, he ends up getting back together with his ex, and I shortly moved down to the Bay Area of California where my parents were currently living. Because they were living in the Bay Area, I had stayed in my hometown for like 6 months even after they moved. So eventually I moved down with them to the Bay Area. And that is where I met my son's father. I, at this point, am 19, absolutely broken, absolutely dead inside. So I go on Tinder because, you know, what else is there to do when you're 19 and you're depressed? And I meet my son's father. And I know this is so bad, I know. But I literally told him right off the bat, I'm trying to make my ex jealous. I have no interest in you, so. And that, I was trying to piss off guy number 2, okay? So I hung out with my son's father for like 4 or 5 months, and ultimately I ended up pregnant. And shortly after I found out I was pregnant is pretty much when we ended things. And I told him, and I'm like, there's no chance it's anybody else's. He wanted a paternity test. But like, we had hung out for like 6 months before I ended up pregnant. And, you know, my son's father is not stupid. He knew the pregnancy was his. I knew the pregnancy was his. He was in denial, I don't know. But like a year later, ultimately, the paternity test did say that my son is in fact his son. So essentially, I've been a single mom since I found out I was pregnant. Fast forward, my son's almost 3 now, and I've been doing it on my own from day 1. And that is the story of how I became a single mom.
It's kind of sad, really. Like, she cheated on him because she knew that would be like the only way she'd be able to get out. Oh, it's really sad. I feel like it happens a lot, to be fair. I feel like a lot of women probably feel in that similar position. It's tough, isn't it? I'm not saying cheating's okay, but I'm just saying, because cheating is absolutely not okay, but I'm just saying that, not that I get it, but at the same time, if you feel like there's no other way out, like, it's kind of sad, really, isn't it? That's mad to me anyway, that they've met on Tinder. And I say it like I don't know any like good dating app like stories, but I mean, yeah, I'm just kind of, it's threw me off guard a little bit. It's thrown me off. As if she actually said that to him. I respect the honesty, to be fair. I love how she's just straight up told him that. Oh, I love that, to be fair. I mean, what a wild story. So she started off in like a long-term relationship. She didn't really like the guy. She got with someone else. It was like on off. She downloaded Tinder, literally told this guy. She just said that she wasn't interested in him. She just literally wanted to make her ex-boyfriends jealous. At least she was honest. I think clearly it was meant to be. Clearly that was how her life was supposed to work out. So, and she seems very happy. And yeah, that's all that matters.
Thanks for watching StoryTrender. Don't forget to like and follow.